Hello everyone, Dibz here and welcome to the next Overwatch analysis. Today we're going to be looking at some higher level gameplay, actually in Masters. We're going to be looking at someone named Shiver, who is currently at around 36 to 3700 SR, trying to get that juicy GM. Now this is going to be a Tracer analysis, both on defense and attack again, but this is going to be on Horizon, one of the maps that I have not done analysis on yet. But yeah, I do agree that Tracer is really good on defense when it comes to 2CP. She's very good at stalling, very good at getting picks from behind, and just basically stopping them from getting into the point. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to be focusing mostly on the game sense and not really as much mechanics, unless I see something that pops up, because this is a little bit of a higher level. Usually there's not that many mechanical mistakes. But yeah, let's get down to some of the game sense analysis. Alright, so I really like the idea that you are holding this high ground. High ground is really important to Tracer, especially on defense. It allows you to jump onto the opponent and then recall back up when needed. And it looks like, okay, it looks like you are doing really well calling out the targets. In case people who are watching didn't know, what you should be always be doing is whenever you're in the high ground, you see people who are coming, you call out what they're running, you call out where they're coming from. It allows your team to kind of get set up and ready for the fight. But it looks like your Hanzo's popping off already. Holy crap. 2 picks right off the bat. Looks like your team is okay. So that's 2 for 1. And as we make another 3 for 1. All right, nice. He got a really nice pick, really slick pick on the Zen. So you're up 2 at the moment. Your team can be a little bit aggressive. All right, charging through, and nice. Okay, so basically you're able to wipe out the entire enemy team. Very good, very clean engage, and it's really nice for your team to be able to follow up without even you having to say like, oh, you know, we're up, and then just go in and push. I think this is at the point where people start to understand that you're up or you're down 1. But right now you guys are down 1. They regrouped already. They're about to be pushing up with the 6, and so you're down 5. You want to be a little bit careful. Don't want to be poking out too much and get picked. Alright, looks like you can hear them coming through. Alright, going again, picking off the Zen, really bullying the Zen, which is really good. I think that is one of the most important things to do as Tracer, is bully the Zen, because bully the Zen or Ana. The Zen and the Ana are the easiest picks to pick out in the backline. And but right now, I mean, good job on that for sure. That wasn't a mistake. Very nice. And you also recall back up, so then you can get high ground and you can annoy the enemy team. And let's see what you do here. Okay, so right now I think you should be going back to your point and fighting onto the point already. You wasted a little bit of time right there, just kind of like figuring out what to do. But if you think about it, so you got that pick right on the Zen, right? Or your Hanzo right here, actually. Let's talk about the Hanzo. So your Hanzo got picked off first, right? And now it is currently a 5v6. What you should be doing is being really careful and trying to get that pick, and you got that pick. So once you get that pick, you have to realize, okay, there is nobody in the back line that you can get, because there is a Lucio. You saw the Lucio right there shooting at you a few seconds ago after you picked up the Zen. There's nobody else in the back line that you can really kill, so this is Lucio right there. Right. Kill him, and there's Lucio shooting at you right now. There's no reason for you to be up here or in the back line anymore, because the fight is not going to be here. The fight's going to be on the point because they're rushing through, and you guys are even, because right now you can see your Hanzo spawning because he got picked off early in the fight. Soon it's going to be in your advantage, but right now it is currently an even fight. If you aren't with your team, it's a 5v4. It's a 4v5 in the enemy's favor, because your 4 people are on point and they have 5 running through the mid. You are alone right now. You're not really doing anything. What you should be doing at this point is either you be really aggressive in the backline, or you stick on this high ground and you just try to pick somebody off and make it like an even fight while you're at it, or fight on the point and try to get there as soon as possible. There's really no point for you to be in the backline right now, or on top right here, not doing anything. So you're just wasting a few seconds right here. You're just like kind of like doing whatever, and then I'm not sure, you could have maybe saved your McCree, not entirely sure, but you know, just a little bit of damage. That extra little time could have been put, you know, just trying to be back into your team and trying to deal with whatever's on point right away instead of just waiting around. And that was a mistake as well. That double blink should have been on the high ground, making you waste your recall. Holding high ground, I don't honestly think you can have to. I don't think you have to blink there. You could have just stayed there as well. The positioning was a little bit off, right? You could just stay right there. Right here, you can stay right here, perfectly fine. It is not bad for you to be here, because if you are on high ground here and your team is fighting on the point and anybody just walks under it, you can get free shots, you can get an easy stick, and also you're making the enemy team kind of like look 2 different ways to shoot. You could be on this high ground as well. It's a little bit of a safer position. It allows you to also drop down to the health pack, but either one works. But I would rather stay here to be a little bit more I like to be aggressive when it comes to Tracer. Allows you to be really, really annoying in the backline. Yeah, your team is down 1 now. You ended up losing that McCree. And you do have your post bomb. Recalling back up a little bit too late. Could have been better. Okay, now you guys are even. Push up, push up. Going after the soldier is something I don't think you should be doing at this point, because it is a very, very close fight, right? You guys are even because of the numbers. You lost the McCree, which you guys down 1. And after that down, you made a, now you got the, I think you got the Lucio, right? Your Reinhardt got the Lucio. So it is at least very close. It is very close. It could be, people could be coming back. The Zen could be coming back. So like, it's just a really close game because you don't know if the Zen is back yet. But I think at this point, the Zen should be really, really close, or at least dealing damage from afar, right? But then if it's this close of a fight, I wouldn't try to split off and go for somebody who is trying to chase your backline, especially if it's a soldier. Because I think it's going after your Hanzo, and your Hanzo can do really, really well against a soldier, right? So your soldier's chasing, and I think it's a Hanzo, right? Yeah, love. So if I recall correctly, your Hanzo was coming back from spawn. So the Hanzo can take care of himself against a soldier really, really easily. Like you can one-shot him, you can scatter him. I don't really think he needs help unless somebody's asking for it. If he's asking for it, go ahead, try to help him out. He is a little bit low on health, but I still feel like it's better for you to be supportive of your team instead. And it's better to fight people on the point first, rather than fighting people who are, you know, out in your backline. Because right now the Hog popped his ult, the Genji popped his ult. You know, there's a lot of stuff going off on point, and perhaps maybe if you had a really, really good stick on one of those targets, it could have changed the tide. It could have changed the battle. If you got a pick, maybe the enemy team would have backed up, and instead of killing the soldier, you know, in the backline, it didn't even really matter. The enemy team still pushed up and took the point. So I feel like whenever you guys are really, really close at winning or losing a fight, and it's on the point, stick on the point, try to contest, try to take people off the point first. Always play the objective as much as you can instead of trying to help people from your backline. Especially when it's a Hanzo. The Hanzo can take care of himself pretty easily, you know. He can, even if he dies, it's like, okay, well, you know, I feel like it's not as important as just being on point and just helping your team. Because the team needs your support on the point as Tracer. You are somebody who is able to contest, you're somebody who is able to annoy, get really, really good picks with your pulse bomb. And yeah, just try to stick on the point, try to play with your team a little bit more, instead of going on your own and protecting your backline. Your backline isn't something that you should be worrying about too much as Tracer. Unless it's an enemy Tracer who is like really, 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 really raining hell on your backline and they really need help. Even then, I would still say it's your tank's jobs or a McCree's job to take care of the backline or your own backline. But right there, not entirely sure why you're crouch spamming so much. They don't have a Widow. I don't think so. Not that I don't think they switched. Everybody was high ground as well. So if you crouch spam, it's making you a little bit slower for one. And also you make a lot of noise when you crouch spam. When you crouch spam, you hear like a little, like a rustling sound. And I just don't understand why you were crouch spamming. It makes you slower. You're slower. You could use a few blinks. You can use a blink or two right there. Right? Instead of crouch spamming, just use a blink too. Right, you can use a blink now. You can use another blink. And you use another blink. Maybe 2, 3. You know the Zen is up there. You know everybody's up there. You see them. So there's no point for you to be wasting time. You're wasting time right there, doing nothing. And now they got a pick, and you guys are down 1 already. So just try not to waste too much time doing nothing. Okay. First of all, you guys are down again. But you shouldn't be going for a Roadhog first. I feel like Roadhog should be one of the last targets that you try to 1v1. The only time you should ever try to 1v1 a Roadhog is if it is forced, and if you're like contesting a point, or if he's like the only one contesting a point, and it's just you and him. But because the thing is, in order to kill the Roadhog, you have to burst him down so much that he uses his heal, and then you have to burst him down again. So you have to do like, what is it? 900 damage to him in order to kill him. That's a lot of damage, and that's a lot of time spent on a Roadhog. Not only that, if it's a good Roadhog, the Roadhog can hook you pretty easily if you're predictable. He can also right click you, right? He can use his alternate and kill you in one shot. He's actually really, really dangerous to you. So I wouldn't try to 1v1 a Roadhog unless I have to. Wasting a post bomb on him can sometimes be okay, or not wasting, but using a post bomb on him can sometimes be okay, but I would much rather pick off another target that is more important. So like you saw the 2 people on the right there, right? Right here. When you were going up, you saw two targets here. There's a Hanzo and also there's a Lucio. Easy targets to stick, especially if they are like on if they have entrance to a corridor or if they're like on a ledge. Because if they're on the ledge, you can basically if you miss them, they either have to jump off the ledge, or if they stay on the ledge, they're gonna die. But if they jump off the ledge, they're gonna give up high ground. So either they have to give up the high ground or they die. So that's also another good place for you to, or another person for you to deal with, instead of trying to 1v1 a hog. 1v1ing a hog is usually kind of a waste of time unless you have to do it. So try not to waste your time with him. Yeah. Alright, looks like a soldier on the enemy team is going high ground. Wasting a pulse bomb again. Never throw a pulse bomb on a hog unless you know for a fact that he has used his huff and puff. 100%. Or unless he's really crowded in an area. Because even if you stick him, what happens? If he realizes he gets stuck, he can just take all the damage, still live, because the pulse bomb only does 400. He has more than 400 life, right? And then he could just huff and puff all of it back up, and you're basically feeding him an entire, like, so much ult charge, right? And also you're not getting the kill. So that's like, it's almost like throwing a pulse bomb on a Zarya who has bubble, or you don't know who has bubble. You don't ever want to throw a pulse bomb on a Roadhog unless you know for a fact he doesn't have huff and puff and that he is going to die from it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, don't throw it on him unless you know for a fact that he has already used it. Or if he is using it, you can throw the pulse bomb halfway when it's being used, because if he is using his huff and puff, he also takes less damage, right? So if he's halfway from using it and you stick him, right when he's done with it, the timer will explode right when he finishes, if you can time it correctly. So you can do that too. It's a little bit harder, but the thing is, it's safer for you, because if you try to run up to a Roadhog and stick him right in front of his face, he can left click you, he can kill you right away, or he can hook you right when you try to pulse bomb him, and that's really dangerous. So the safest way to do it is when he's huffing and puffing, because if he's doing that, he can't hook you, he can't shoot you. You basically have a free stick when he is huffing and puffing, but you have to time it so that it's in the middle of it, so that when it explodes, the huff and puff effect is gone and he takes all the damage and he can't regenerate that health. So it's a little bit of a strategy to make it easier for you to stick him, make it safer for you to stick him. Yeah, this was his entire waste. This was a whiff, a huge whiff. So try not to do it as much. So he would have just huff and puffed right there and just like mitigated all the damage, and you would have just wasted it. Focusing the Zen, not bad. So right now you should just be trying to contest and stay alive as long as possible, because you're the only one. Okay, your team is back. All right, now be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive. All right, nice. Switching targets, I really like that. I really like your switching targets right there. Sometimes it's not good to focus fire, or sometimes it's not good to switch targets. But right now, you saw somebody who is easier to kill, right? And also you saw the monkey focusing the backline with the Zen. I do agree that the Genji, you got the Genji down to half-life, but sometimes the Genji could be like, he can have a dash up, or he can just climb up walls. He can be sometimes really hard to kill. It could be either or. Honestly, you could have just tried to kill the Genji as well. But I feel like if he had a dash up, it would have been really like a waste of time. But then nowadays, or right now, your Winston is on the Zen right now. Good swap to the target. It's support, right? Killing off a support is a little bit better, in my opinion. Especially since your Moira was already able to take care of the Genji. But yeah, really nice cleanup. Really good recovery for your team. I was actually really scared that you guys weren't able to hold it because of what happened on point. And then luckily the Zen trans came in and saved you guys. But yeah, holding up here, waiting for the Zen, I assume, because a lot of Zens like to hold up onto this point here. They like to crouch, or they like to hide here, right? So their team pushes up top, the team pushes up mid, and then their Zen just pokes out here. And it's really nice for you to come here and just kind of like predict that he's going to be coming over this way. Nice. Blinking in, getting that kill, recalling. Yep. Slick as hell, dude. Good job. So you guys are up 1. Don't really have to be too entirely aggressive. Your team should be aggressive, but not you by yourself. You should be aggressive only when your team is aggressive, because right now there's nobody for you to kill. Keep that in mind. You can't really kill anybody very quickly in the backline. Okay, your team is down, or even actually. Alright, so you guys were up 1. But then now your D.Va died and their Zen is back, right? So it's practically a 4v5 for you on your team. Right now you shouldn't be so aggressive in the backline. Your team needs you on the point again. Right? So at that point, when you lost the D.Va, You should have realized. All right. Boom. You have no front line. That is one of your main tanks. You guys are running dive. If you don't have a diva, your diva is not going to be able to absorb any of the damage, and then this means that the enemy team is just going to push up on the point right away. So right now you should be backing up. Right now you should be backing up. Backing up to your team, trying to figure out what's going on. Try to support them. Maybe get a stick. You don't, or maybe not even back up. Maybe you can just blink in right now, right here. You have everybody crowded here. You have a Genji, a Hanzo, a Soldier, and a Lucio. There are two things that you can do. You can try to pull back a little bit and be a little bit safe and try to engage the enemy team when they jump onto the point, or you could be really aggressive right now and try to get a big stick. Because look at this, they have a Genji, they have a Hanzo, they have a Soldier, and a Lucio. So the enemy team is going to be really, really aggressive very soon because they got the diva out of mech, right? What you can do is you can try to get a stick, maybe get 1 kill, 2 kills, 3 kills. They're all bunched up here. If you can get a really good stick here, that'd be really, really nice. You get a really, really good amount of value when you have your pulse bomb in these kind of situations. So try to be aggressive with that. So they're all bunched up together. That's the best time for you to pop your ult. And see, like right now, yeah, everybody's popping up on point right now. You guys lost the diva, you guys lost the Zen, they're popping ults, and you're still back here trying to deal with the Zen one-on-one. Even if you kill the Zen, at the very beginning of the fight, just think about it. Just think about it. If you killed the Zen right here, right? So you lost the diva again, right? And let's say the Zen was here. Let's say the Zen was here. You pop and you kill off the Zen. You're still down a really, really big tank. They're still going to be pushing up through. It doesn't even matter. They can win the fight even without the Zen. So it's not really worth it for you to always consistently be on the Zen if the enemy team is being really aggressive on you guys.
Try to spawn camp the Zen.
Yeah, it's okay to spawn camp the Zen if your team doesn't really need you on point. That's the main important part. Because the thing is, if you continuously spawn camp the Zen, right, you have to get that pick at the very beginning of each fight, because if you don't, you are technically making it an even fight. All right, so it is a 6v6 for the team, right? So you get a really good pick on the Zen, you make it a 5v6, which is really nice. But then the thing is, your team should be trying to push the advantage, trying to wipe out the enemy team, trying to push into them and kill them as much as possible. But your team doesn't end up doing so. So they're kind of like sitting around doing nothing, like a 5v5, and you're on the sidelines. Think about it. You are on the sidelines, not dealing any damage to the 5. So it's actually a 5v5 right now. It's technically in numbers a 6v5, but based on the positioning and what's going on, it is a 5v5. Now the Zen is coming back all the way in the back, and it's still considered a 5v5 because you're still on the sidelines. Let's say you go onto the back line and try to kill a Zen. What's the main fight? The main fight is still a 5v5. You're not really doing anything just by killing a Zen consistently. If you're always on the Zen 100% of the time, you're taking yourself out of the main fight, right? You're making it an even fight. You don't want to make it an even fight. You want to make it so that whenever you kill the Zen, you push into their backline and you try to make it an even more uneven fight so that you are doing something. You know, just don't focus the Zen 100% of the time, because now that team fight at the very end, it was a 5v5, even though they were technically down one. They were down a Zen, but they were also down a Tracer because the Tracer was too far in the back line trying to kill the Zen. So yeah, so that's how they won that really easily, and they just basically steamrolled your team because you weren't able to do anything about that. But yeah, just try to take advantage of your pulse bomb as much when they are grouped up together like that. Go into the back line, get a stick on somebody, or even just throw it in there. At least scare them, or at least just, you know, use it as much as you can. But just don't focus fire too much the Zen. Once you kill the Zen, go back to the main fight, try to do something, and then when you see the timer in the back of your mind, keep a timer in the back of your mind on when the Zen's going to be spawning, right? Or when he's going to be coming back, right? If you can predict when he's going to come back, then you can basically stop attacking the enemy team and just come back and kill the Zen and then go back to the fight. Always be doing something. Always be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Don't be like just waiting and waiting and waiting for the Zen to come back and then just kill the Zen. That's kind of like wasting your time and not really being effective as Tracer. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to attack and let's see how you do, dude. All right, so I think, yeah, okay, so your team is saying that they want to go right side and you guys have a Reinhardt.
Opposite side and annoy them.
Okay, that's really good. It's good for you to say that you're going the opposite direction because that's kind of what you want to do. You want to do like a pincer attack where your team is pushing one way and you're going the other way so you can kind of annoy them from the back line. But the thing is, when you guys are playing Ryan on Horizon on attack, you always want to be going left side because whenever you go left, you have multiple entrances that you can come from. Basically, whenever you guys take the fight and you guys go left, right? So Let's move a little bit to, let's go back to where the fight was at the first point. All right, so let's say you are on attack. You are on attack and this is the entire room. You are on attack and the enemy team is on the point and on defense. Your team on attack pushes in and you guys get a pick. What happens? This means that the enemy person that spawns has to come through this back door. Meaning when they spawn, they are literally split off from the enemy team. You can cut off their supply line of people coming in. And this makes it really, really easy for you because you can pick off the next person that comes back in whenever he respawns if you guys sustain. So it's really, really big advantage for you to always try to push into this door as much as possible. And you do this only because, you do this mainly when you have a shield. Because when you have a shield, you can go through that long hallway completely fine without, you know, dealing or taking a lot of spam damage because you have a shield. If you don't have a shield and they have a Junkrat, you're gonna get screwed because they're gonna just be spamming into you. You're just gonna end up dying trying to go that way. So whenever you guys have a shield, especially a Reinhardt, you always want to go through left, which is on attack, right? So which is this way. You always want to go left, which is this way. You always want to go this way. You always want to go this way whenever you are on attack, and also you have a Rein. It allows you to cut off the supply line of the people coming back from spawn if you get a pick, and also allows you to attack from multiple entrances as well. And also in this case, if they are going left, you could be going right. You could be going up the stairs, trying to get the high ground, trying to get the soldier off of high ground. I wouldn't say it's your entire what was it, your responsibility to get rid of the soldier off high ground because you guys have a Hanzo. Hanzo can do that. Snipers are usually what get people off of high ground, but you can help out a little bit, I guess. It shouldn't be, it's not your priority though. It's not your priority. Okay, so a little bit too much of blinking and recalling. Let's take a look at that one more time. I don't know if I could do slow-mo. Can I do slow-mo? That's fine. Anyways, I'm right here. So he used his rocket right there. You saw that, or you heard it right here. Right? He used his rockets, and you didn't take any damage at all. You're still at 150 health. You took no damage, and he used his rockets. So you can get right in front of his face, spam his face down, make him jump off of high ground, and just keep the high ground. Or you can try to just get into his face and just kill him. Because right now you're not in that much danger. It's only really dangerous for you to get into the front of the soldier if he has his rockets, because he can rocket and he can punch you and just kill you instantly. But if he has no rockets, get into his face, kill him, be really, really, really aggressive. And you don't even have to blink here. You don't have to do this blink. This blink was unnecessary, completely unnecessary. Even if he was still shooting at you, you would still be able to survive pretty easily. You know, as long as you just crouch spam, 80, 80, 80 spam, just don't jump too much. Just 80, 80 spam, crouch spam in front of him, try to spam him down. The thing is, he was also reloading right there. He's reloading at the same time. He's reloading. So he shoots, rockets. Right there, he reloaded. So you were completely free to just sit there and just like spam it to him. Completely free. So you wasted a recall. You also wasted another blink. You also didn't take any damage while doing so. I wouldn't have wasted the recall, right? At this point, there's no point for you to recall. Because if you recall, for one, what happens? You get to the high ground and you try to 1v1 the soldier again. But now, he has his healing pad up. You only want to use your recall against the soldier whenever he has his healing pad up. Or if you get hit by rockets, right? Because the thing is, if you get hit by rockets, you're going to die, so you have to recall the health. Or if he uses rockets and he doesn't hit you, and then you try to spam him down and you're low and he's low and he puts down his healing pad, if you can't burst him down, you have to recall. And you have to basically get out of there, wait until his healing pad heals him up, and then try to get back into the fight again. But right now, you're gonna get hit by a rocket, and two, his healing pad isn't down. So there's really no point for you to try to 1v1 the soldier. And because think about it, if you recall and you get high ground, you run into him, what happens? He puts on his healing pad and you have no recall, you have no blinks, you're dead. Right? So I would say recalling here is a very, very bad idea. What you could have done was you could have just dropped down, be like, okay, I messed up, I fell off by accident, and I'm just going to go onto the point and just try to see what I can do there. High ground doesn't really matter too much against for me because, of course, I know that I have a Hanzo. Hanzo's going to try to deal with them. Snipers do really, really well against high ground. And just focus on what's going on the ground instead.
Soldier right, left side, top.
Right,
Nice.
see, okay, well, yeah, I killed him anyway. He killed him anyway. Even if you weren't here, even if you didn't recall, right, then he would have just died instantly by the Hanzo. Because Hanzos are really, really good at picking up people high ground, so are Widows. Don't concentrate too much on taking too much high ground if you have a Hanzo to deal with it. I know like holding high ground is really important for Tracer, but like if you have somebody else who is able to hold high ground better than you, let them do it. let them do it. And then once they're down, then try to see maybe next time take the high ground after that. But just don't spend too much time trying to take it if you're having trouble with it. I think it would have been better to just like start poking on the point already. Start building up your ult charge. Maybe go the opposite direction. Maybe go bottom left right here. Make use of the health packs, annoy the enemy team, try to poke at them, get some ult charge, and then by the time the fight actually starts, you can get a post bomb, and then your team can just like, you know, you can start off with a pick. D.Va's on you, backing up, nice. Annoying them, you're trying to draw them away from the team because the D.Va is a really big tank. Okay, focus on the Ana, good job. So they have a Ana and a Moira. You don't want to be focusing the Moira too much. Okay, that's nice. Moira is good to focus after you kill the Ana. You always want to kill the Ana first before the Moira. Moiras are really hard to kill. Moira is really hard to kill. Especially if there is like another support trying to like heal them at the same time. Heal them up at the same time. Okay, so right here, I feel like you could be pushing up a little bit faster. A lot faster actually. Right, so you guys get the point. Right? Your team is pushing up. Even right here, you guys have 5 people on point. What normally should be happening right now is your team anybody on your team that does not have movement speed ability should be pushing up. But not too far, because you don't want to push too far in case they have like people doing poke damage. But if you have a shield, that's completely okay. If you have a shield going up, it's okay for you to push up with the shield, but you only need 3 people on point. 4, 5, 6 people on the point, don't cap it faster than 3 people. So what this does is that allows you to engage faster. You want to always engage as fast as you can as a team, because they're down a Ryan right now. The faster that you can get to the point, the faster that you can fight a fight where the enemy team doesn't have a Ryan. The enemy team not having a Ryan is a really big advantage for you guys. So what should be happening is that you could be telling your team to push up. Be like, hey, you know, Ana, Ryan, push up. I can take care of the point. I can cap it. I have blinks. I can get back really fast. And I want you guys to just engage as soon as possible because the Ryan got staggered. Right? You always want to be taking advantage of staggers as much as possible. This isn't a thing for you but it's more like a thing for you to know so that you can tell your team and take advantage of that. But also after that, once you guys cap the point, you should be blinking like crazy right now. You have 3 blinks. You should be pushing up as far as you can. And then if you get in front of your team, you can scout ahead. You can say, oh, they have this, they have that. They're holding this way. They're holding left side. They're holding high ground. They're holding, or there's a Zen all the way back left. There's a Zen all the way back right. There's an Ana back left. Blah, blah, blah. Just spit information to your team whenever you can, so that by the time your team gets there, they're prepared. They know what is where and they know what to be prepared for. It's really important for you to do that as Tracer because you're the scouter. You're the person who can get there the fastest. You can feed information, and information is very important, even more so at this level. At this level, people start making or taking information to use. Like they should be, at least. I feel like, you know, they should be, because right now you have 2 blinks and you could have been like using all your blinks to even get to the left side. If you used all your blinks, you would have been on the left side already and you can see what's going on, right? And your team is already almost here. It's good for them to know, because let's say they are all like held up on the right side. Everybody's top high ground. Everybody's high ground and they have a Junkrat. Well, you don't want to be pushing right side. You want to just go left and avoid all that and just jump at the point, right? But you don't know that yet. So it's good for your team to know what to do before you actually get there. Always use your blinks right after you get a point to get ahead. Always. All right, I see that you see the Zen. Your eyes are on the Zen as much as possible. That could have been done better, of course, I feel like. Well, unless the Zen saw you coming. Did he see you? Yeah, he saw you coming. Never mind. He saw you coming. So I would have suggested going towards the back, because you heard the Lucio go up there, so you want to ignore the Lucio. But right here, this is actually a really big gap. It's a very big gap for you to cross. What you can do is you could go towards the back if he doesn't see you. Right, if you go towards the back, if he doesn't notice you coming, you can just walk up and just use 1 blink and get into him. And then you can use your 2 to 3 blinks after that to kind of like dodge attacks. Or if he sees you coming this way, you can go towards the front, but you have to make sure that if you're going towards the front, that the enemy team on the top isn't looking at you. If they're not looking at you, then it's safe for you to go this way, because you can use this as cover. Right? So in this Zen's positioning, since he knows you're here already, he knows you're going to be coming from this way, he knows you're going to be coming from the front, it's fine for you to go towards the front as long as you get close enough and then you blink in right away. You know, it makes it so then you conserve your blinks as much as possible, so that you can use more of them to get into the fight. If you use 2 to 3 blinks to get to the Zen and you get into his face, you're not gonna have any more blinks to fight him, you know. And if he's a good Zen, he'll be able to kill you in about 2 shots, right? If you discord, boom, headshot 1 and a body shot, and you're dead. You're instantly dead. So good Zens are able to do that really, really quickly, and it's really scary. Okay, right there for a bomb. You kind of missed it, which is okay. It happens all the time. But one way that you can improve that I saw that you didn't do is first, you didn't aim for the legs, and also you didn't track him continuously. So right now, this is actually a pretty close stick, right? But then look at how your crosshair reacts. Look at your aim. Look at your aim right now, okay? It just moved slightly to the left. Slightly to the left. You didn't continuously track the soldier. You tracked the soldier for about a quarter of a second and then you stopped. What you want to do whenever you throw your pulse bomb is you always want to continuously track him throughout the entirety of the pulse bomb being released. Because whenever you throw a pulse bomb, whenever you push Q, it doesn't release from your hand immediately. There is like a half a second of a delay before it actually leaves your hand and becomes a projectile. So let's say you're looking one direction and you push Q. If you push Q in this direction and immediately you turn left, the bomb will still follow and turn left at the same time, right? If you don't want it to just sit there, you always want to be tracking the target afterwards, especially if the target is moving. If the target is moving, always follow the target through the entirety of when you push your pulse bomb button. It makes it so that, you know, the delay follows the target and you can actually have a higher chance of sticking them. And also when you stick the legs or when you try to aim for the legs, it's more of a horizontal shot, horizontal throw instead of a lob over their head, where it takes a lot longer for them to react to it if there's time and delay before it starts exploding and they can run away from it. And yeah, I also have a pulse bomb guide if you want to take a look at that as well. But I think that pretty much covers most of the things when it comes to sticking people with the pulse bomb.
Soldier low.
1-1.
A lot of blink usage there for no reason, I think. You blink in, blink out. Not entirely sure why you blinked in first. You didn't have to blink in. You blinked into the shield, I guess, to try to deal damage to the Winston, but you didn't even have to blink. You could have just like walked around the shield. So he's going to the left. You don't even have to blink in. If you blink in, you know he's going to be walking out. So I would just say, just don't use your blinks too much, especially if you are on the point, because if you use a lot of your blinks while contesting a point and there's more people coming in, you're not going to have enough blinks for the next fight. Because right now it's not even needed, right? You don't need to escape anything. You don't necessarily have to like kill somebody immediately, because you're not the only one on point. You have a Zen, you have a Ryan, you have a Zarya, right? You blinking in and putting in a few more bullets against the Winston isn't going to kill him that much faster. It's much better for you to kind of like, you know, just walk up to him and try to see if you can get them that way and just save your blinks for the next person coming in. In my personal opinion, because you use one blink to get in and then you're like, okay, and you use another blink to get out. Okay, well now you have only one blink and there's a Genji coming in, there is a soldier coming in as well, so you're kind of screwed for the next few fights. I'm assuming, and you have a right charge coming in and you run into a Ryan as well. You didn't have to get that close to his face, for one. You didn't really have to get that close to his face. Keep your safe distance against Ryan. I feel like you know that already. Watch your health a little bit more. I think you weren't just watching your health and you didn't know that he would be able to one-shot you at that point. But right here, your first reaction shouldn't be diving into the Ryan, especially if you're this weak. I know that he has a Discord, but you always got to keep track of your life. You can listen to your the gasping sound that Tracer makes. Whenever you hear that, just recall right away. That's what I do. It makes it so that you don't have to like look at your life and be like, how much do I have, or am I able to survive the next hit, or whatever. Make it a reaction for you to hear that sound. So let's figure out when you actually hear that sound. Right there, you hear yourself gasp. That's when you should recall. Boom. All right. Don't blink in. Just recall. Be safe, especially when you're trying to contest. Your main goal right now is to stay alive as long as possible and then kill as many people as you can. Because if you die, then and your enemy and your whole team dies, then it's really hard for you to just like keep that ticker going. Because he would have died either way, even if you were on him or not. Nice. Ryan's carrying, kicking butt.
Almost back.
But yeah, the way that you were, the urgency that you had to get back to the point right now, that's what you should always be like whenever you're trying to, right after you first cap the point. You should be like, go, push, especially if they don't have a Ryan. That's nice. Okay. Also, yeah, one thing that I didn't notice is that, or one thing I noticed is that the Zarya popped his grab without you saying anything, or without him saying anything. Try to focus on communicating with the Zarya as much as possible. Always say, hey, Zarya, how much is your grab? Hey, let's combo next fight. Okay, Zarya, you and me, let's go. I have my bomb, do you have yours, etc. Always just talk with your team, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Especially when it's a Zarya. Always, especially with the Zarya, because the Zarya bomb is one of the easiest things to combo. Not one of the easiest, I would say, but one of the most efficient things to combo with, because you can get your bomb really, really fast. You can get it again, right? So always communicate with these Zarya as much as possible. Okay, and also right here. All right, so what you could have done was you could have focused on the soldier instead of running away right here. So your shield is up, right? If your shield is up, and look how much it is, you guys are literally almost about to cap it. What you should be doing is focusing down the soldier while you are behind the Rein shield, because the Rein shield is going to protect you no matter what from the soldier. You don't have to run, you're not going to take any damage. So focus on trying to support your Rein rather than get health packs right now. You should have gotten health packs when you were low at one point, and right now you are not getting health. You shouldn't be getting a health pack. So I feel like the sense of urgency is kind of all over the place. Like you're not exactly 100% sure whether or not you should be fighting, or you should be trying to go back and try to get health. But whenever you are safe, you should always realize that you can deal a lot more damage when you're with your Rein. Right? The Rein is just literally just holding up a shield. Just look at the soldier, shoot him down when he's ulting, and then once you start getting shot, then blink out of the way. Not only that, whenever you're trying to blink out, try to make the soldier turn around. Right? Blink behind the soldier, make him spread out his damage, just like a Junkrat. Because right now, if you blink back towards the left side like you did for that health pack, not only is it far, it takes 2 blinks to get there. Right? He's still going to be facing your direction. He's still looking this way. He's still looking this way. If your Rein dies, by any chance, he's still going to be shooting at you. Because then the show's going to be down. It's going to be like auto aim, right? So what you want to do is always blink behind a soldier whenever you are trying to avoid his damage. Because I mean, like, not only that, it makes him turn around and makes him spread the damage around him. Actually, it makes him work more, right? The more that you make the enemy team work, the more it wears them down over time. And it makes them make more mistakes. But to be completely honest, at this point, it is so much better for you to blink towards the right side, because if you blink towards this right side, you have this pillar to be your shield, right? You have this pillar to be your shield, and it's much closer. It's much closer. If you blink twice, you have to blink twice to get to the left side to get cover. This one, you only have to blink once, and you have 2 blinks. You are very, very, very low on blinks, right? So blink to your nearest cover as much as you can. And then if he tries to continuously like go around and try to look for you behind the wall, just blink towards that health pack and use it as cover, right? So you boom, you got cover, boom, go to the health pack. The other one is really, really dangerous to blink to, in my opinion. Okay, so use 2 blinks right now, and your Rein is down, right? And now, okay, you're safe, but you have to use the Mega, and you have to, when you try to get back into the fight, it takes a little bit longer, and the Genji is chasing you.
Nice.
Right? You still won the fight. You still won the fight, or you still won the round, but still. You know what I mean? Like, it would be so much better for you to blink, use less blinks when you need to. Right now, what I'm seeing is that you're using a lot of your blinks when they're not needed. And in the long run, you're going to end up being in fights where you need those blinks later on. And then you're going to end up just not having it because you use them too much in the fight, and then you just run out and you just die. So survivability is going to be really hard for you later on. Unless you are a little bit more conservative with your blinks. And yeah, also the timing of your recall can also be fixed a little bit better as well. But yeah, that was the main thing about this round. Just blink usage is a little bit too much. I do have a blink management guide as well, basically trying to figure out, do you need to use this many blinks to get in and out of a fight and to do whatever it is that you need to do. I'll post a link as well. I'm pretty sure you saw it, but just review it as much as possible. But yeah, your blink usage is a little bit off. It's a little bit off. But also, before that, I also need to focus on the Zarya. Always focus on your Zarya communication. Always try to push tab to see whether she has ult now. It's going to be a lot easier now because you can see the percentage that she has. With the new patch, you can be like, okay, well, she has 10%, she has 20%, she has 90%. If she has 90% and you have a bomb, just wait for her to use it or to get to it. Because now you don't even need to, you don't have to communicate, but you should just at least wait for it. You should at least wait for it. If the Zarya doesn't communicate with you, at least now you know when she is going to have her grav, and then you can start saving your bomb for the grav. You don't want to ever have a grav go off and be like, oh, I'm at 70%, I can't get my bomb. Well, you're right. Like that's always a feels bad man moment. So yeah, push tab, wait to see or check to see how much she has, and then just talk to her as much as possible. And if they don't respond, well, I mean, that's as much as you can do. So, but yeah, anyways, next round. All right, so round 3 on defense. It looks like it held up a little bit more aggressively in this position, which is completely fine. But I think it was a little bit too aggressive. You kind of poked out too early on the Genji. So if you think about it, let's see, that happened really, really quickly, but let me explain. All right, so right here, you see a Genji pop up, right? So if you see a Genji pop up, you also hear the Reinhardt voice line coming through. It means that everybody is pushed up to this point. It's very often where people kind of hang around this area to scout out the enemy and see what's going on. And if you see a Genji kind of like jumping up around this area, he's most likely than not going to come through this window. So once you see the Genji pop up and he doesn't even see you, that's kind of your cue to kind of move in a little bit further here this way, because Genji can climb walls, right? And the enemy team isn't going to come up these stairs for sure. So if the Genji is kind of floating in this area, there's no reason for anybody, not even the Genji, to be coming up these stairs on the right side. So if you're listening to see what they've got, listening to when they're going to be coming in, I think it's kind of better for you to be a little bit farther in, so that in case the Genji does come in through this way, he doesn't see you, right? Because if he comes up this way, he's just going to come up through this window and poke out this side right here. He's not going to come in all the way to this back side. There's really no reason for him to do so. So for you to get scouting information from sounds, it's better for you to kind of like just once they pass this point right here, it's good for you to kind of stand back right and just move back a little bit. Just move back a little bit so you're a little bit safe in case anybody decides to kind of poke up this small window. In my personal opinion, I would have done that. Right when I heard people just passing through, I'd be like, just move back a little bit, wait until you see people going through, and then just like see and scout out the information and what you need, and then go in after that. Because right now you're spending a lot of blinks because you're being seen. If you weren't seen, you wouldn't have to feel the panic to kind of just like go and escape. And if everybody turned around, they could have killed you. It would have been a really risky situation for you to get caught and die. But luckily you're able to get out, which is completely fine. But it's much better if you were not caught at all. You would have a lot more space. And right here, you're going for the mega health pack. So I do believe, I do see why you're getting the mega health pack, because you're like, oh, I'm kind of low. I want to be at full health all the time. There are a couple of things you can do instead of doing this. What you can do is instead, when you're up here, right, you can hold this high ground right here. You can hold this high ground. Just stay up here, poke on this high ground ledge, poke on the other high ground ledge, and you can ask for heals. You can literally just be like, hey, you know, can I get some heals high ground just for a little bit? Because you have a Mercy. Mercy could just poke out the side, boop, give you a beam, and just give you a little bit of heal, and you can stay on high ground. Right now, the fact that you're going back down to low ground, you're wasting a lot of time. There's already a fight going on point, and you're just like, boop, give the heal. And also, you're giving up high ground. If you were high ground on this, in that moment of time, right? If you were actually there, you could be shooting down on the enemy team as well as get healed at the same time. You didn't have to go all the way down just to get the mega. Yeah. As for heal, go here, poke out a little bit. As for Mercy heal, once you get pocketed for a little bit or get healed for a little bit, poke on this side, start spamming down on the enemy, get some ult charge, and just at least just make it not a 5v6. Right now, it is a 5v6. The Genji is on the point or near the point, and your team is on the point, so it's a 5v6, and you're losing because you're one man down basically. You're not on the point, you're not attacking anybody, and it's really bad for your team to do so. You always want to be either on somebody in the backline or with your entire team fighting the big fight. And it looks like your Ryan was able to get. You're right. Ryan got picked off really quickly by the Reaper. I'm not saying that if you were there that wouldn't have happened, but it could have gone better. It could have gone better. You might have been able to deal some more damage to make the Reaper a little bit less aggressive, or you might have been able to pick him off. You don't know. But it does make a difference if you are there or not there for your team, especially as Tracer. But also, I don't know if you did this, if it's a habit for you, but never shoot into a Genji deflect ever again. Try not to do it. Try not to ever do it. It's very dangerous because of the fact that good Genjis can aim at the head of the enemy when they're deflecting, and it does a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage. Also, the thing is, you actually killed your Zen by doing so. Your Zen was really weak. He was less than 1 bar, and when you shot him to him right here, boop, you killed him. There was nobody else shooting at him except for the Junkrat, but the Junkrat deflect his grenades, right? Deflects grenades, and you don't see a deflected grenade going to the Zen. And also, the Zarya beam can't be deflected. But yeah, he ended up shooting into the deflect, killing your Zen. But I feel like, you know, either way he might have died, but it's something that you should still try not to do. Trying to shoot into the Genji deflect. Mercy could have used the res on somebody on your team, like maybe a Reinhardt or a Junkrat. But it looks like the enemy team was really pushed into you guys already, and it was already lost. But in the long run, I feel like if it was a much closer situation, that would have really made a big difference, because you would have had one more person alive instead of your Mercy trying to use the res on the Zen. And just these small mistakes add up over a long period of time. And it's really important for you to kind of like, you know, iron out those small mistakes that are easily, you know, easily avoidable. It's easy to just not shoot into the deflect. Just remember, you know, just try to make it a habit not to do it. Okay, and also shooting Zarya bubbles as well, trying to shoot Zarya bubbles. But I do feel that right there is you switch targets on the Zarya, or from the Zarya to whatever the Rein was charging. So it happened pretty quickly again. Shooting the Zarya. The Zarya is really charged. You saw that she had a big beam, and she was also discorded at the moment. So you're shooting at her. She gets a beat. And I understand why you were trying to shoot the target that Rein was charging, because the Rein gets rid of the bubble, then you can kill whatever target he charged. But the thing is, like, even if the Rein did charge the Reaper, when the Reaper did not have the bubble, it would still have the Reaper surviving the charge because of his Wraith ability, right? So they just dropped the beat. You gotta keep in mind all the things that happened. So first of all, right here, okay, they dropped the beat, charged. So through the charge, right, the Rein or the Reaper would survive the charge because of the fact that he had beat. Even then, if he was really low, he could still Wraith out of it. So trying to shoot a target that is able to escape after getting charged with invulnerability, that's for sure, right? It's usually not a good thing to do. However, if the Rein charged the enemy Rein and the enemy Rein ended up low HP, there's no way the Rein can get out of there, right? So you can finish off the Rein, and the Rein is able to die after that, right? If the enemy if your Rein charged the enemy Rein, it would bring him really low, and the Rein would have to sit there and take all the damages coming in. But then the Reaper could literally just Wraith and get out of there and survive. So you're kind of wasting your time shooting the Reaper at this point, because you switch targets to whoever he was charging. But also, the more important part is shooting Zarya. Zarya is the biggest person you should be going for right now, because she's high charged. Look at that beam. It's freaking huge, right? And as long as you ask your Zen to keep the charge on, or the orb on the Zarya, and you guys can focus on the Zarya, it's going to be a really good thing for you, because you don't want her to go grav. You do not want her to get grav. And the higher charge she is, the bigger of a target she becomes, or she should become. You do not ever want to have a really big Zarya target on the field, just like getting charged off of you guys for free. It's really scary, very scary. So, but yeah, just try to focus on high priority targets. Try not to focus too much on whoever Rein is charging, unless he says focus this person and charge him and kill him. Then do that instead. But this is a different story. You know, there's two different things. A lot of times when I'm playing on my team, I hear like a Rein say, my main tank Rein, I'm going to charge the Rein, burn him down. Okay, then everybody just, after he charges, everybody burns him down, even through the bubble. But the thing is that like that Rein just did a random charge, even though that Reaper had beat. So we weren't 100% sure what the Rein wanted to do. But the Reaper wasn't even a really good person to charge, because he could just Wraith out of there right away after he got charged. But if he didn't have bubble, if he didn't have beat, he would have died for sure. But both of those stacked together made him pretty much almost impossible to kill, even after the charge. So it was a bad call by your Rein to charge the Reaper, but it's like you don't have to follow through with that. You know, you can just focus somebody else and just focus on the targets. That's a lot better to kill. All right, so round 4 on attack. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. It's gonna be a long game. Holy crap! You got 4 points. They have 4 points in 3 minutes. It's insane. It's insane. All right, so that's good. Your team is still going right, which is, well, I mean, it's whatever. They still want to go right. It's fine. I already talked about it the first round, but it's okay. At this point, right now, you have the attention of the Lucio as well as the Reaper. You basically have the Reaper out of the point, which is really big, because of the fact that Reaper is really strong against your tanks, against your DPS. You should be telling your team to push up at this moment. You have the Reaper's attention, meaning he is not in the front line of their team. If your team pushes up, their Reaper is not going to be there. You can just keep distracting him. Make sure that he's on you the whole time. Just don't die to him. Okay, if you keep him here long enough, your team will have a much easier time pushing up because Reaper's DPS is much bigger than yours, and it frees up a lot of the DPS that you're damaged, or a lot of the damage that your team takes. So right now you'd be like, hey, push up, push up, push up, push up, you know? And it's just like, well now that time was kind of, that window was a little bit gone now. Your team could have done a little bit of damage to just be in the front of their faces. Yeah, just try to be a little bit more vocal with your team whenever you have anybody in the backline. If you have more than one person like trying to chase you in their backline, tell your team. This makes it so that your team pushes up and they can do a lot of damage. They can win, or they can fight an uneven fight. Basically, there's the advantages for your team because you have two people in the backline while you are in their backline for one, or as one person. Also right here, I wouldn't be poking out from so far. If you actually look at the enemy team, they don't have anybody that can that can't really like one-shot you, right? They don't have a McCree for a flash. They don't have a Junkrat for traps. There isn't really anything here that you should be like super afraid of. Because right now it looks like you're really like, you don't want to go in there. You feel like something's going to kill you right away. There's nothing that they have to do that, except for maybe a Reaper. But the Reaper would have to get incredibly lucky, and he would have to be right in front of your face in order to just get that full headshot into your head, and he would kill you in one shot. So I feel like it could be a little bit more aggressive here. Kind of be in this area step, or next to the steps, and then just kind of like get closer. Get closer. You're kind of spraying from too far, and your effective distance is actually over there. You don't want to be spamming from this range because you're not doing any damage. You're just slowly building up your ultimate, and you're not going to get any picks from this distance. So just poke up a little bit, poke up farther. Yeah, that's a good bit. Okay, that's a better distance. Better distance, but you backed up a little bit. Took a little bit of damage from a lot of people, but yeah, be a little bit closer. Be a little bit more aggressive as much as you can. Try to get into their backline. Try to annoy them the hell as you can. Because right there, you're annoying them, but you're just kind of like, they're kind of ignoring you. They're kind of ignoring you. You're not doing much, right? So.
First the bottom left behind.
Okay, nice focus on the not Zen, Lucio. All right, they got a pick. So you guys are up one at the moment. That's really, really nice. Push it, push it, push it. Good focus on the Moira. Okay, that's nice. Moira's really weak. Really, really, really weak. Oh, that was so close. Just a little bit close. Okay, so I know that you had a little bit of trouble dealing with the Moira right there. Just a little bit. But there are a few things that you could do. Obviously, there is a discorded Reinhardt right here. I saw that he was not really, really weak. You don't know how much life he has, but if you're having a lot of trouble against the Moira, what you can do is you can go for the discorded target instead. It makes it a lot easier for you to gain a lot of ult charge. You can probably get your ult charge or your ult with one clip if the Rein is discorded, and you can pop a bomb on him, and then you can kill him. And if the Rein is down, they have no shield, and your team can just push through and just like roll them over. So you can either go for the discorded target and ignore the Moira, but the Moira was pretty weak right here, right? So she faded. Right, so right here, when you want to go against the Moira, what you want to do is you want to be as close as you can to her face, because Moira's right click, her damage ability, it doesn't do more when you're close. It also doesn't do less when she's far. It does the same amount of damage whether you're close or far. So you're Tracer, right? If you're Tracer, you want to be up in their face as much as possible. You want to get as many bullets into their face as you can, and the best way to do that is to be right in their face. Not like in their face, because it's going to be really hard for you to track them because they're really, really close, but like a little bit closer than this. Maybe like when you're maybe up to here, make sure your body's like right here, and you can kind of just like get close enough to just like shoot her. But right now you're backing up, right? You're backing up, you're jumping away, you're jumping away, jumping away, jumping away, and it's just like, well, you're making it harder for yourself. But you did get the health pack. You did get the health pack for sure. But I felt like if you were close enough, you would have killed her. You would have killed her, right? Because look at how much life she has. Right there, boom. You're at 51 health. She has only 1 bar left. You could literally just like be right in front of her face and just melee her, and she just dies. So try to be as close as you can. I think you could finish her off before you get to the health pack. And you didn't even have to recall here. You didn't even have to recall here. Honestly, you could have just got the health pack and then blinked forward a little bit closer and then kill her, and then recall after that. Yeah. So, yeah, and this is a small nitpicky thing that I think, or like a playstyle thing that I think I like to be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to Moira, when she's low especially, because if you get her to a really, really low HP and then you let her go for just like one second when you're recalling, she can let out a freaking heal orb, and brrr, life goes up, and then Lucio comes in, brrr, she's all healed up already. She's like, well, there goes all the effort, and you have to whittle her down again and again and again. It's just really hard for you to kill a Moira. And if you ever get her down really closely, I would say be really, really aggressive on her if you can. Especially if you're 1v1ing her. If you're 1v1ing her, no problem. You can just get in front of her face and she can't do much. But good tracking on that Lucio. I saw that tracking on the Lucio. Very good job. Very good job. But yeah, one tip against Mora, just get in her face after she has no cooldowns. Just get in her face. Always get in her face. But yeah, I also saw that there was a Tracer in this backline, or in the backline area. I think, if I recall correctly. Yeah, there's a Tracer around here. So, if there is a Tracer around here, first of all, before that, I would say you have 4 people on the point. Right? You don't really need this many people on the point. You only need 1 person to cap it. Just tell your team to just to push up, because you can cap the point, you can catch up. And not only that, it's not really your job to take care of the Tracer. You have people in the backline to take care of themselves. You have a Ana and a Zen with each other, and if they're together, they can pretty much take out a Tracer pretty easily. If the Zen gets Discord on the Tracer, then the Ana and also the Zen can burst them down really quickly, and they can pocket each other, they can heal each other. The Ana can get a sleep, the Ana can get a nade. Like, Ana and Zen are they're really easy targets for Tracer to pick if it's a 1v1. However, if they are playing together, it is really hard for Tracer to do anything, because they are really dangerous to Tracer if they are like attacking together at the same time. So just tell your team to kind of like watch for each other. You don't have to be in the backline to protect your team from an enemy Tracer. The thing is, if you are in your own backline protecting your backline from the enemy Tracer, you're not doing anything. All you're doing is just canceling out that Tracer, and it's still not even fight for your team. So what you want to do is you want to be more effective in their backline than the Tracer is in your backline, right? Because you're not really doing anything extra by getting rid of the Tracer in your backline, unless you get the pick. Unless you pick her off 100% of the time, and then you can push up after that, sure. But most of the time, Tracers can get away. Most Tracers can get away if they're poking your backline, and then they see you, they're just gonna dance with you the whole time, you know, and they can't really do much until they get a pick, and then they're gonna come in. Boop. Well, they got a double stick, and your Zen ended up dying. So right now you should be resetting. You're still down 1 at the moment. You're still down 1. Okay, so you're down 2. Yeah, your team should be backing up right here. Team should be backing up. But yeah, even if you were in the backline trying to deal with the Tracer would have still got a stick. It doesn't matter. You can't stop a Tracer from getting a stick. Especially when she just blinks in. Right? As Tracer, you can't stop her. As Tracer, you can't stop her. But yeah, be a little bit more aggressive with your sticks if you can. Be in their backline. Don't worry too much about the Tracer in your own backline. Tell your team should be able to take care of her. You should have people who are able to peel. Personally, I think so.
I messed up.
Alright, so right there is a... I don't know if you plan to stick to Ryan, or you decided to just throw it in there. So even if you stuck to Ryan, just think about it. First of all, you have a coalescence in your face, right? You have a coalescence in your face. If you manage to stick to Ryan, and the Ryan took 400 damage, he is full health at the moment. Boom, he takes 400 damage. He still has 500 life in his bank. He still has 500 life total. He would have 100 life, and the Mora ult, the offensive Mora ult, will be healing him. So even if you did get the stick on him, he would be like his health would go, it would just go all the way up. So whenever a Mora is doing an ultimate, an enemy Mora, and you want to try to stick somebody that will die immediately to your bomb. It's best to do that, because that's a lot of healing going out to the entire team. You want to make sure that whenever you stick somebody, it's not wasted. Because if you just threw it on the Ryan, he would have survived, and it would have just got healed back immediately. So either I would say stick somebody like the Lucio, or stick the Zarya, or stick another DPS, but don't even try to stick the Ryan. Don't even try to stick the Ryan. It wouldn't matter too much. But yeah, I would definitely agree with it if the Ryan had a Discord orb on him, and because then he would have just died to your post bomb. Whether or not he had coalescence on it, because the Discord orb with a bomb will just immediately kill any target. Alright. She's bad. It's okay. Respawn. Next fight.
When they come to fight us, just use grab and Hanzo.
Okay, so it looks like your team wants to use Hanzo ult with the graph. Not 100% sure whether or not the enemy team has trans though. But that's alright.
I got almost at my bomb.
Alright, you have your bomb, which is really good. I understand what you're trying to do, because in the end, if the enemy team does have trans, you can use your bomb against them. Right? Okay. That's nice. But it doesn't look like the enemy team had trans, so that was a good call by your Hanzo and Zarya to do that. Okay, that's nice. Contest. No idea why you got nanoed. Interesting. Okay, first of all, I feel like it's okay for you to kind of be in the backline. It's okay for you to be in the backline. But if there's just one person on the point that is causing a lot of trouble, especially if it's the enemy tracer, you kind of have to gauge how good the enemy tracer is, right? If you feel that the enemy tracer can stall, because look at the enemy tracer. The tracer was stalling for so long right here, right? The enemy tracer was stalling for so long right here. 38, 37. It was just a tracer. That's like a whole 10 seconds. The tracer stalled a whole 10 seconds. Right? I feel like if you feel the enemy tracer is actually really good at stalling, try to get rid of people on the point first if you can, especially if you're nanoed. If you're nanoed, you can kill the enemy tracer really quickly. Getting as much progression as much as you can is probably the most important thing when it comes to TCP. So I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to get a lot of picks before the enemy team can get onto the point to continue staggering or continue stalling, right? But if you actually look at how long the tracer stalled, she stalled on the point alone for like over 8 or 9 seconds. And that's actually really long for just having one person on the point. I feel like it's more important for you to get rid of all the people on the point, because if everybody on your team is on the point, that's 6 people going for one person. That person on the point is going to die so much faster if everybody's focusing the same target. I'm assuming you have pretty good aim. You can kill a tracer. You can help your team kill the tracer a lot faster than you being in the enemy backline. If you are in their backline, like I just saw you right now, it's going to take you a lot longer to kill somebody one-on-one than it is for your team to 6v1 a tracer on the point. Right? The tracer, if you were focusing on the tracer would have probably died a lot faster, and you would have gotten a little bit more progress on the point. So the first things first, I know it's really like, it's tempting to be like, oh, I want to get all these people in the backline. I want to stop them from getting out to the point. But in reality, how are you going to actually be able to do that? It's going to be hard, especially if you have multiple people coming into spawning at the same time. What if 2 people come out? Well, you just wasted your time trying to kill them because they're just going to ignore you. They're going to get onto the point and you can't really do much about it. So focus on people who are on the point always, as much as you can. It's much better in the long run for your team. And the focus fire is going to be a lot better because you're also one of the main DPS for your team. Secondly, whenever you want to throw a pulse bomb on a Zarya, don't throw the pulse bomb on a Zarya unless you know 100% sure that her bubble is on cooldown. 100% sure. You have to be 100% sure. If you have any shred of doubt that the Zarya has a bubble, don't throw your pulse bomb. Because right now you have no proof. Nobody called out whether the Zarya had her own bubble, and you didn't see her bubble come out, right? And there's really no point for her to have bubble out right now, because she just got out of spawn. She literally just walked out of spawn, so she didn't use bubble for whatever reason. She didn't take any damage inside, so there would be no reason for her to use it. So right now she has it 100%. You know for a fact she has it. Don't throw your pulse bomb on her. You're wasting it. 100% wasting. One thing you could have done instead was try to just shoot into her. If you shoot into her and you make her pop bubble, you force the bubble on her. What you can do is you can stick the bubble as it's about to go off, as it's about to disappear. So what I like to do is I like to count to 2. So you do 1 Mississippi 2, right? So right when you see the Zarya bubble come out on her, you count. Or it doesn't matter if it's her bubble or if it's a bubble on somebody else, right? Once you see it appear, once you see the bubble appear, boom, you count 1 Mississippi 2. And then right when you hit the number 2, that's when you want to throw your pulse bomb on the bubble. Because right when you actually stick it onto the bubble, your bomb is going to start pulsing, and then it will explode after 1 second. If you actually count from 1 Mississippi 2, the bubble that she has is going to disappear right when your bomb explodes. So what happens? The bubble disappears, your bomb is still ticking, and then it blows up. It basically kills the Zarya right away. And it's a really easy stick because the bubble has a huge surface area, right? First of all, the bubble is really easy to stick, and also you can kill whatever target is being bubbled. However, the thing is you got to be really careful that you don't do it when the D.Va is around. Because if you stick a Zarya bubble, right, and you count 1 Mississippi 2, and then it drops down, for any amount of time that it's in the air, it's a projectile again. D.Va can just go around and just eat it when it gets off the bubble. So it's kind of risky for you to do that when a D.Va is around, but just try not to, or just try to time it if the Zarya is alone. Or if whatever target is alone that that the Zarya bubbles. Like let's say a Zarya bubbles like a Mercy, right? That's actually really good for you because the Mercy has a really small hitbox and it's really hard for you to kill her or to stick her. What you can do is you can stick the bubble after one Mississippi 2 and then the bubble's going to disappear and the bomb's going to explode in Mercy's face and she's going to die. So just get that timing down. One Mississippi 2 and then you throw your bomb and then it'll stick and it'll explode. So try that out. It's kind of a tricky timing to get, but if you do it over time, you'll be able to get a lot of those targets or a lot of those free kills, and it's really cool.
Sorry.
Okay, nice pick on the Mercy. Focusing on the Zarya, nice job. Going for the Reaper. Okay, your focus fire is actually really good, going for the more important targets right there. But you used a lot of blinks right there. You're using a lot of blinks. So let's count how many you did. All right, so you used one blink to get in, one blink to get out, and another random blink right there. So I think you wanted to use one blink to get into the D.Va's face, get into her face and finish her off. I think that's what you wanted to do, right? Right there, yeah. So you thought you were going to be right behind the D.Va to blink. I understand what you were trying to do, which is good. But the thing is, you were also 56 health. That was kind of a dangerous move. Because what happens if you blinked into the D.Va's face, right? And she got one shot on you and then she just meleeed you. You probably would have died. Right. The thing is, it's not right here. Isn't such a huge, intense situation, right? So you have a Ryan and also you have a Zarya with you on point, and as a baby D.Va. What you can do is you can shoot from a little bit of a distance, and also you can use another blink to get out and get some health and then come back. Right. I would rather do that instead of just trying to kill the D.Va as soon as possible by being in front of her face. If you're full health, okay, but you're 56 health. That's really scary. You don't know, like baby D.Vas can actually do a lot of damage. Baby D.Vas can do a lot of damage. Like. They're scary. They're actually pretty scary. So just try to be a little bit more conservative with your blinks. Don't use too much out at once. And yeah, also right there, you could have used your recall. Try to conserve your recall, or try to use your recall a little bit more. But like I said, if you went off the point just for a split second just to get health, you wouldn't have really died to the enemy tracer that fast. So try to use health packs a little bit more. It's okay for you to step out the point for maybe like 1 or 2 seconds to get health and then come back because you had no healers. It was just you, Zarya, and the Ryan. You have no healers. You have to use your health packs or else you're just going to end up dying in the long run. All right, so your Ryan and your Zarya are spawning right now. They're just coming out of spawn at the moment. Grav is at 48. And your Zen gets picked off. Okay, so at this moment, when your Zen dies, your Ryan and your Zarya are about halfway to getting to the fighting point. It's really dangerous for you to push up right now because even now, if you get a kill, your team isn't really engaging at the moment. Your team isn't really all together, and you're also down one. You're down a Zen. So I'm pretty sure that your team's positioning is all over the place right now because your Zarya and your Ryan both died at the same time. And when they came out of the door, your DPS were kind of already pushed up. So your team is kind of scattered right now and you're down a Zen. It's really dangerous for your team to be pushing up and doing anything here at this moment. So I would say, everybody just, group up, meet at this point, stick together, and then do one big push because it looks like your team is pushing up without your tanks and not waiting. And they're ending up getting picked, which is really bad. Really dangerous. Because think about it. Even if you get this kill, let me see if you get the kill. Okay, so think about it. You got this kill. You got the Zen kill. And your Zen died about maybe 7 to 10 seconds ago, right? So your Zen would be walking out or be coming out of the spawn right now. The thing is, this enemy Zen you just killed has a spawn right there. Your team is technically not up. Right now, there are still 5 of you who are kind of quote-unquote fighting. Because I think your Zen or your Zarya and your Ryan would have just been at the front, at the high ground right now. They would have just been meeting up and your Zen wouldn't be there with them, right? So by the time your Zen meets up with your team, this Zen will be back here again. So it would be an even fight, right? So it's like, whenever you guys are down one, you always want to make sure that you are getting these picks at the right time. Because this pick doesn't really matter much, right? Your team is still grouping up. Your team isn't really fighting. Your team isn't really doing much is not going to be able to do much with this pick. So you got a free kill, but okay, I mean, like, I would have rather waited until your team grouped up, and then when you guys start fighting, and then you get the kill. That would have been a lot more effective, because timing on the kills actually makes a really big difference. Also, the only thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this is that the Zen's attention is not on you right now. You saw him do a 5-ball somewhere else, wherever. What you can do is that you can come from this side. I already talked about it before because he didn't see you. If he did see you, you can go through the front to block the damage. But then if he doesn't see you, go towards the back. So you don't have to use 3 blinks, right? He wouldn't have noticed you come from the backside if you just walked. He would have been focused somewhere else. And then you could just use 1 blink to get in and you just focus him down. Because you used 3 blinks. Look at this. Like, he didn't hit you with, he hit you with 1 orb. and you brought you down to 91. If he got another headshot, you would have died. You would have died. But look, right now you saw that right there, right? See, now your team is grouped together. Now there's 5. You got a kill in the Zen. But then right now, the Zen is probably spawning. So that bought your team just maybe like 4 to 5 seconds, which isn't a really big deal. It's not really a big deal. It's important to get timings at the, or get picks at the right time. But I also saw that you were trying to duel the Tracer. Let's take a look at this one again. All right, so think about it right now. You are being chased by an enemy Tracer as well as a Mercy. You have no blinks, you have no recall, your recall is in 9 seconds. You basically don't have an escape. So at this moment, what you want to do is you want to stall for as long as you can until you get your blinks up so you can escape. What I would have done instead was I would have taken a little bit more damage and not shot at the enemy Tracer. Because if you kind of stick around this area, it's going to be really hard for the Tracer to kind of one-clip you if you're like, 80 spamming, right? If you ever gone against an enemy Tracer and they're 80 spamming, crouch, it's really hard for you to like actually empty out an entire clip and kill them, right? So if you do that and you do that for one clip and you don't shoot the enemy Tracer, you can make her waste a clip and then you can get the health back and then blink out of there when you have more cooldowns. Basically what I'm saying is that you can stall for your cooldowns without damaging the enemy Tracer. Because what happens if you damage the enemy Tracer? If you shoot her, she can blink behind you and then take your health back. You don't want that. What you want to do is you want to stall, don't do damage. And then once you take enough damage to actually stall enough for your blinks to come up, then take the health back and use your blinks to get out of there. This is of course on the fact that you can crouch spam and you can survive against an enemy Tracer, right? Like right there. So based on that, the Tracer took off what, 60 more life from you or 70 more life from you. It wasn't too bad, not too bad, right? You would have survived it. You got your health back, healed you for 20. You would have had 59 health right now and you would have been okay, right? So after that clip, 80 spam, you would have gotten the health back, blinked out of there, and right now you would have been full health. So yeah, I would just try to stall just a little bit. And of course, now that the Mercy isn't on her and then you kind of have your health packs, you can kind of do damage to her, right? But also right here, after that duel, I don't feel like you should have been up here. You can try to take that Tracer, right? So right here. Tracer, no recall. You know the Tracer has no recall. You're getting health, you're getting healed. Wait for you to get healed, then go back that way. Just go back that way. Just go back. Because the Tracer has no recall, you have a recall, you have a blink, maybe get 2 blinks. You could be a little bit aggressive on the enemy Tracer, right? It's always good for you to take as many Tracer fights 1v1 whenever you can. Because if you can take out the enemy Tracer, you can be in the backline for free and you can do whatever the hell you want. It's really nice for you to always take as many 1v1 Tracers and be the aggressor on the enemy Tracer if you can. The enemy Tracer on the run has a disadvantage because they're always trying to run away. They're not focused on aiming as much. Their mechanics are kind of like all over the place since they're focused on something else. They're focused on trying to get away. And they're like, oh crap, and their aim just kind of like panics and they're like in panic mode. And if they're in panic mode, their aim kind of goes to crap. So be a little bit more aggressive on the enemy Tracer, especially when you can. And in this high ground, you don't want to be here as Tracer. There's a lot of spam. So there's a Pharah, right? I think that, yeah, there's a Pharah rocket. They have a Pharah, they have a Diva, they have so much spam here, they have a lot of tanks here. You're not going to be able to do much as Tracer up here. So I would say just flank around, take out the enemy Tracer, or at least make her busy. And then after that, if you can get the pick, you can just go to the back line or jump on the point, force them off the high choke, and then you can just allow your team to push up a little bit more. Okay. Nice, nice. Going to the back. I enjoy it. I like that. Ooh, melee, 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 melee. Okay, so that Zen didn't get any balls at all. But right here, you could have just meleeed him. Don't be afraid to get too close to a Zen, especially if he's very, very low. Right? So if you think about it, if you are in front of a Zen, if you're right in front of his face, how hard is it for you to track him? Very, very hard for you to track him, right? So the thing is, if you are really close to a Zen, you want to kill him as fast as possible. He's going to have a hard time tracking you as well if you're really close to him. He does have a projectile advantage though, but if he's this low, right? If you notice this, boom, you can just walk up to him, melee, and he's dead. Right now you could have killed him, but if you count how many balls he shoots after this, it's how many balls? 4 balls. He shoots 4 balls. If he hit any of those 2, you would have died. All right, so that small gap of time in which you let him live could have caused your death if he was actually a Zen that could aim really well, right? So you want to just make sure you get your melee down or use your melee whenever you see fit, or whenever it's possible.
Send that.
That melee is very, very powerful. It's a lot stronger than you think. Those extra small amounts of time can save you. It can save you.
Zarya.
Okay, right there as well. I feel like it can deal damage while you are on point, because you're contesting right now, right? Right here. You kill the Zen. Okay, you're right there. You're getting percentage. You're getting percentage. The pharmacy was in the air. The pharmacy was way too high in the air to contest.
Send that.
So you saw the Pharah fly up right there. Boom. And you see the Mercy gliding up to her. Right now they're too high, and you're getting ultra, or you're getting the point. So you should have just been on the point right now, and just like sitting there. Just like sitting there, getting on the point, and if the pharmacy is ignoring you, let them ignore you. As long as you're getting percentage while you're at it, you can still shoot the Zarya while you're on the point, right? Because right now you're killing her, but you're not getting any other point, and the point just actually goes down, and then you end up losing progress. So I feel like it would have been a lot better for you to actually just stick on the point, and just continuously just contest. Because the more that you contest, or the more that it relieves the pressure on the high ground. Because the enemy team is like, oh, there's somebody on point. You know, there's somebody on point. Should I stay up here? I don't know. Maybe I should jump on the point. Maybe I should ignore whatever's going up here because the Tracer's important. Tracer's trying to cap, right? So you kind of put the enemy team in the panic mode every time you contest. And it's better for you to always contest whenever you can, if you aren't like in a very, very scary situation. Alright, so that's good. Right now you have a pulse bomb as well as a Zarya grab coming up. You guys combo together. Just communicate with your Zarya. Be like, hey, I want to combo with you. Just let me know when you're about to do it. And then you can just, yeah. Not too bad. As long as you guys communicate, it should be easy. It should be okay. Okay, going for the Yana. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Alright, so first of all, that Zarya grab was very... It was like whatever. It wasn't a big grab. It was just... your Zarya basically solo grab. I think he was trying to go for the, yeah, he was trying to go for the Mercy at the same time, but he ended up missing. So if you ever realize that your Zarya on your team gets maybe one or even just two people in the graph that are kind of like squishy, you don't have to waste your pulse bomb. You don't have to use your pulse bomb into the graph. You can basically just shoot, just look at whoever is in the bomb or in the graph and just give them headshots. Brrr, just empty a full clip into the head and you can kill them. You can kill them just as fast as throwing a pulse bomb on them if they're sitting still and not doing anything, right? That's one thing you can do. You don't have to throw your pulse bomb in there every single time. Sometimes I see our Zarya throw a grab and it's one person. I'm like, well, I'm not going to waste my bomb on this person. I'm just going to shoot him. So much easier. I mean, it's not much easier. It's easier to throw your bomb, but you can basically get the same result just by shooting at them instead of throwing the bomb. Also, the thing is, this is a Zarya. The Zarya is grabbed. You don't know if she has her shields or not. Whenever your Zarya grabs, and the enemy team has their own Zarya in the grab themselves, most likely than not, they're going to pop their own bubble, as well as pop a bubble on somebody else. You want to throw your pulse bomb a little bit delayed in the grab to make sure that all those bubbles disappear before you throw your pulse bomb. Because if you throw your pulse bomb in there and the Zarya pops her shields and on shields on somebody else, you're just gonna get nullified 100%. So always right here. You saw the bubble. I actually saw the bubble come out, but she basically ate the whole thing, and you just fed her charge. But she ended up dying though, so it's whatever. But still, it's just like it's a wasted bomb that you could have just used later on in this fight. Could have been used to get out of the diva mech.
Oh, Mercy Redson.
Could have got the diva out of mech. It could have gotten somebody else, maybe the Ana if she came back out. But yeah. Also right here, the Mercy res right in front of your face. Always make sure that you are focusing the Mercy. Even though the Mercy is in Valk, it's really hard to focus her if she's in the air, right? I would say I wouldn't say completely ignore her. At least keep tabs on what she's doing. Always keep tabs on what a Mercy that is Valking. Notice what she's doing. If she's all the way up in the air, ignore shooting her because you're not going to be able to kill her. But if she ever comes down to res somebody, that's when you always want to just get on her and you just want to try to clip her and try to focus her down. That's what I like to do. I don't ever want to shoot at Valkyrie Mercy because she's impossible to kill up there. Also, don't focus on Pharah. Don't focus on Pharah. Unless the Pharah has Discord on her and your team is also trying to focus her down all at the same time, then I would say don't focus down the Pharah. She's almost impossible for you to kill just as much as a Mercy. But right here, she reses right in front of your face. You can hear it. And it's unfortunate that it goes off. But yeah, just focus on her a little bit more.
GG.
You had your recall. You had your recall. You're very low. You're very, very low. Right there. Boom. Right when you hear the gasping sound, that's when you should have recalled. Right here. right there. All right, so always make sure you're keeping track of the sounds and what's going on. Watching, you don't. I'll be honest, I don't really actually look at my health that very often. Most of the time, it's when I hear the gasping sound. Right when you hear the gasping sound, boom, that's when you want to recall. If you haven't heard of, if you are taking damage over a long period of time and it's small damage and you don't hear the gasp, that's when I usually look at my health, like how much am I at? Okay, well, how much am I at? Okay, but it's like always try to make sure that you keep track of your audio cues to know when you recall, because you had so much time to recall. You could have recalled and you could have started a little bit more.
Unlucky game.
You would have lost still. You still would have lost, but yeah, just try to make that a habit. In the long run, it will matter a lot. It will matter a lot more. Yeah, though this was a Masters game, I still feel like there was a lot of things that people in all levels struggle with, especially when it comes to like Gamesense and blink usage, and recall usage. I feel like it can improve a lot, dude. It can improve a lot. Just focus on that a little bit more. Your aiming is pretty good. I think your aiming is something that has been able to help carry you throughout your levels or throughout your ranks, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Tracer is an aim intensive hero, and if you have good aim with Tracer, boom, you're going to start climbing. That's part of it, but a lot of it does come down to positioning. A lot of it does come down to blink management. I feel like blink management and usage and recall usage is really, really important to allowing you to survive more, allowing you to survive longer in the enemy backline. And the more annoying you are, or the longer you survive, the more annoying you are in the backline, and the more stress that you cause for the enemy team. And that's what Tracer does. Tracer is supposed to be somebody who is like causing the enemy team to be like, get rid of this Tracer, there's a Tracer, right? That's what you want to do to the enemy team. That Tracer was doing that to your team, right? I felt that way because then you were kind of pulled back to your team because of the enemy Tracer, and you were trying to deal with her. If she is doing that to you, you know that Tracer is doing something right. You want to be that Tracer. You want to be in the enemy backline. You want to be aggressive. You want to be using your cooldowns correctly. You want to be surviving as much as you can. But yeah, to try to focus on those things. Blink management, focusing on target, going on the correct targets. It looks like your target focus is kind of all over the place. It doesn't look like you know exactly which target to kill. You're focusing the Zen a lot. Just to go over in general, Zen is okay to focus in the backline, but if you are having trouble killing him really quickly, don't put all of your energy into doing so, right? Maybe if you kill him once, okay, kill him once, but then get back to your team as soon as possible, and then make that pick effective. Do something with that pick, right? And then go back onto the Zen again. You know, try to focus your attention, not focus your entire attention on him. Kill him, go back to your team. Kill him, go back to your team. And also focus on the right targets. Kill the Zaryas really, really hard if they're really, really high charge. Kill the Mercies whenever they're raising. Just try to think a little bit more on what would be the most effective target to kill. That, as well as talking to your Zarya as much as you can. Focus, comboing ults. I didn't see that much in this game, maybe once, and you had a Zarya a lot of the times. Focus on those things. And yeah, I think I went over a lot in this one. But I think those are the most general tips or general things that you can work on. But yeah, go through each and every tip that I had, and I feel like you will be able to climb a lot, because those mistakes it's all about practice. Those blink management tips, or those recall tips, as well as communicating with your team, you should be able to do that in no time. But yeah, anyways, that's going to be about it for this one. Thank you, Shiver, for the submission. Really, really like this one. I think this is one of the highest SR games that I analyzed, aside from my own. But I think this is a pretty good one. So yeah, hopefully this is going to help you out. Let me know how it goes for you in the long run. And yeah, that's going to be about it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to submit your own gameplay, you guys can submit the VOD of your own at dibzgaming@hotmail.com. I have a lot of them in line. If you guys want to be ahead of the VOD line, basically, if you want me to prioritize yours over everybody else, I do have a Twitch channel, or I do have a streaming channel, twitch.tv/d1bz, in which you can earn points to accumulate. And once you accumulate enough of these points, 10,000, you can submit them with your VOD, and I'll put yours ahead of everybody else's. Or if you want, you can submit $30 with the VOD. Just let me know. You can PayPal it to my dibzgaming@hotmail.com. And then just give me a message that you PayPal'd me, and just show it to me. And I'm like, okay, then I'll just put yours ahead of everybody else's as well. But yeah, that's going to be about it. I really appreciate you guys watching this one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.